This is our second Repsly webinar for the year. It is the 27th of May. Getting colder, as mentioned earlier. I hope you guys have a warm cup of tea and a jersey on or a little blankie just to keep you warm and comfortable as we take you through this session. It is called our Repsly product updates and developments. So what we will do is be taking you through what's new for Q1 and what is expected for the upcoming quarters. Okay. Just before we get started, just to quickly run through, as we usually do, the purpose of the webinar and any additional details that we think will be helpful to you. So the reason why we prioritize a quarterly webinar session is to just essentially showcase in real time what Repsly is bringing to the table. Sometimes sending you a monthly email, letting you know that these functionalities have been released is not always enough. You know, sometimes they are in spam, or maybe they're deleted, or you just don't have time to really look at them. And also it gives us the ability to provide you a bit more context as to the reasoning for the releases and how they can benefit you as a company. Just putting it in a monthly email doesn't always really communicate the benefit that it could have to you. So that's why we prioritize this time with you. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to post them. So as mentioned, our webinars provide an interactive introduction and showcase of the product releases, because then it helps you assess 100% whether what we're showing you is relevant and whether you want to start investigating the functionality and at the end of the day using it. These sessions are designed to encourage active participation and questions. So we do have a Q&A section. Please use it. Okay. Each session will also serve as a reminder of our support channels and product development process. So support channels, how you can reach out directly to us if you have any general questions or any technical queries that you want to have resolved. We just give you a little bit of an update as to how that is done, and also the process to follow if there's any features you would like to have considered for incorporation into Repsly. We just briefly take you over that process as well. Okay, and as mentioned, webinars do run quarterly. The next one is planned for August. Okay, so the house rules, just briefly, please use the Q&A section at the bottom to post questions. You guys do not have access to your mic, so any questions or any communication you will need to post in the Q&A section, please, and we will address them during the designated question and answer time at the end of the presentation. Okay, I've already mentioned that, so please use the chat function. And then the session, as mentioned, is going to be recorded, so it will be shared with you after the session. So then if there's anyone else within your company as well that maybe was not able to attend with us today, you can always go and share that with him. Okay, so our agenda, as usual for today, is the recent Repsly product releases, so what has been released in Q1 so far. Then we'll go into what is planned for the upcoming quarters. Just to note, we're not going to have precise timelines on that, but once we do, we will make sure to share that communication with you. And then resources and Q&A right at the end. All right. If everyone is ready to hop in, you can give me a thumbs up, and then we can proceed with the recent releases. Fantastic. I love how reactive you guys are. Thank you. I don't feel so alone. Thank you so much. That's new. Give me a moment. Oh, okay. All right. No, sure. Fine. It was a hand, but I am assuming it was supposed to be a thumbs up. That's cool. Thank you so much. All right. So our recent releases, what is new in Q1? So we've had quite a few focus points within Q1, which we have summarized here for you. I'm not going to go into every bullet. I'm just going to give you a high-level summary, but you're more than welcome to come into the slide after the webinar and have a read as to each point and what it means for the web and mobile apps. But we were really focusing on form visibility and expanding that functionality within forms. We were focusing on improving upon or adding more functionality to the matrix form question as well. matrix is still a very big development and priority for the Repsly team. So it is constantly being looked at and being improved upon. We're also giving you clearer insight into field activity. So also bringing some of the user experience on the web app into the modern day, making it a bit more consistent for you guys, which does overall improve the user experience. And then, of course, data and reporting is something that Repsly is always looking at. So as an example, we have added territory and account data to the form report exports. We do know this is something that quite a few clients have asked for in the past, and it is finally here. So it's a lot easier when you pull a form export from the form report tab. You can go and filter based on region or on chain, which is going to make reporting a lot more streamlined for you. So I will be going over these in more detail in the following slides. So as mentioned, I won't go through each bullet point for you, but you're more than welcome to come and read this after the session. Okay. Repsly product developments. So gain insight into recently launched releases. Okay, so this is what they have been working on in Q1. So multi-select questions in Matrix. So I'm sure everybody here is aware of the Matrix form question that was introduced into the form flow. Its ultimate goal is to replace retail audits. So retail audits will eventually be grandfathered out. That's why we have been directly in communication with those users that use a lot of retail audits to begin the transition over to Matrix. Okay, so if you are one of those people that do make use of retail audits and haven't made the transition yet, I do advise that you start that as soon as possible. Reason for that is we don't have an exact timeline as to when retail audits are going to be grandfathered. It does appear like it is going to be soon, potentially within the remainder of this year. So we just don't want anybody to be left behind. So if you have any questions about the migration over to Matrix or just general usage of it, you're more than welcome to reach out to us directly and we can assist you with that. Okay. But to make Matrix more dynamic and allow you the flexibility as an admin to get all of the metrics and reporting needed, but also making the user experience for the rep a lot more streamlined, we have been adding question types within the Matrix. So now with multi-select being added, we now have 5. So we have yes or no, numeric, single answer, multi-answer, as we're seeing here, and photo. So those are the question types that can be incorporated within a Matrix workflow. Okay, so the reps, as you know, the multi-select question works the exact same way as the multi-select within a normal, standard form flow. We've just incorporated it into Matrix. Okay, and as you can see within the screenshots, the rep does have a very clear preview with full selection access. So they see all of the options in front of them and they are able to go and click on the ones that are most relevant to them. So when they click on the question that is a multi-select, it will pop up with the second screenshot. Okay, and these multi-select responses, if you are making use of Insights dashboard, they are available for analysis. And then just a quick shout out if some people are not aware, Matrix does now support mandatory function like a standard form. So if there's any row item or question that needs to be mandatory, you can go ahead and switch that on. Autofill has now also been incorporated too, like your usual form workflow. And you can edit submitted forms either from the rep side or from the admin. Okay. Product lists. So this is connected to Matrix. It is a little bit of a, well, it is a brand new feature in a way that we are able to give you a sort of a intentional workflow when it comes to SKUs. So in a nutshell, what a product list is you are able to create a list of SKUs on your system, connect those lists to your stores, and then you can incorporate that product list within your matrix. So as an example, on our system, we have 10 items that are labeled bread. So, Albany, Sasco, Blue Ribbon, etc. And what we want to do is we want to make a bread audit. Okay. So what we go and do is we connect that product list to the stores that stock these bread items, like a Checkers, Pick and Pay as an example. And we say these are the relevant products that need to be within the bread audit. So now with that product list created, you can assign that product list to the matrix, and then it automatically pulls through as your row items. So it eliminates the need for the manual intervention of you manually typing out each SKU or potentially pulling a product export, copying and pasting into the row items. So it gives you a lot more precision, if I can put it that way, and it also eliminates a lot of your admin. So then as soon as the rep opens that relevant matrix, all of those items are already going to be automatically populated for them to go ahead and answer. So it is similar to a retail audit in that you can specify what products are relevant and which ones pull through. Where product lists becomes a lot more dynamic is you can tailor a product workflow. So dependent upon what task is required within the store, you can tailor make a product list for that particular function. So as the slide says here, product lists let you create store-specific lists for matrix questions driven by data and business rules. So key examples that we like to highlight is you can use this for underperforming SKUs. So you can connect your underperforming SKU catalog to a matrix, and you can have the rep go and do a particular audit, like have sales increased, how many facings are on the shelf, etc. So this is an example, also zero sales. If you have a list of must stock items, like a MSL list or an APL as an example, this is something that you can also incorporate into the matrix, and you can make sure that those products are available in store. So essentially, product lists are trying to eliminate all of the noise of SKUs that are not relevant, and it also streamlines the workflow on the rep side, making sure that they are answering only the most relevant products and that you are getting the insights that you require. Okay. So I do understand from explaining this to you in this way, it may not be 100% clear, and also you may not potentially grasping yet how it can be incorporated into your flows. So if this is something that you are interested in and you want to discuss further, I do encourage you to reach out to us directly via support, so we can assist you that way, or if you have our direct email, you can go ahead and send that over to us. We really want to incorporate this into as many workflows as possible because it does bring such value. So if you just want to assess whether it is valuable to you, please reach out. We are more than happy to schedule a session with you and take you through how this can be set up. Okay, next is async export of sales docs and forms. So this, the main focus of this was for any environments that had a major master data set. So if there were a lot of forms being submitted, a lot of stores, what we did see is there were system timeouts when exports were trying to be done. So then it would essentially pause any workflows that were being done via the backend because you had to wait for that export to sort of catch up. The system could potentially crash, and so it was affecting, general day-to-day workings of the Repsly app. So in order to handle large exports, what we've done is we've essentially pulled it into the background. Okay, so as soon as you click on the export function, you will see that little icon there. It says, for example, 2025 picture of success form. So that shows you that that form is being downloaded for you, and it is an async download. So what that means is if it's beyond a certain size, what it's going to do is it's going to continue the export in the background. So you can continue with whatever workflows you were doing. You don't have to pause. And then what it will do is it will send you a direct email letting you know that your export has been completed, and then you can export it directly from that email. In a case where the export is not, as large as that, it's not warranting an async, you are able to click on this link where it says 1 out of 1 tasks completed, and then it will automatically download for you. Okay. So the reason for this is just ensuring that there are no more timeouts. You, of course, have consistent delivery and faster performance. And then you have your richer exports as well with the inclusion of the territory and account context. Okay. And also maybe something just to add, if you are exporting matrix, we do recommend that you export it from the form report section, as matrix submissions are not what's the word I'm looking for? Supported by the activity feed export or in the export and import wizard. So we highly recommend that you pull your forms from the form report section, and you will definitely see the territory and account context there. And with the matrix, you will then have two separate tabs within your Excel. So you will have your first tab, which just gives you a general overview of what has been submitted in the form. The second tab is a matrix specific view where it shows you the metrics collected in a tabular formatting. So instead of having a very long Excel spreadsheet from left to right, you will have a table, which will be a lot easier to review. I'm just bringing that into the conversation now in case people are not 100% aware. So just also reiterating the fact that many improvements are being made on a regular basis, not only to reporting, but to the flow of the matrix as well. Okay, then something that has been coming for a while that has finally arrived, you are able to edit submitted data for branched form questions. So I'm also very excited about this. This was something that was being asked for when I started at Repsly, which was heading to 4 years ago. So you are now able to make adjustments to branched questions within the form. So what we mean by this, it can be done from the admin side. So if you go into a form submission and say the rep answered inaccurately by accident, or maybe there was just a confusion in the workflow, and for the purposes of accurate reporting, you want to go change it, you can edit the parent as well as the branch if it is required. And the rep can also do that if they have the option to edit submitted forms. They can go into the form and they can change this from their side as well. So again, just preserving your reporting accuracy. And then the form logic is kept. So no major changes are made to the form flow specifically. We're just changing the answers. Okay. So this is something I'm pretty excited about. We also have limit form visibility by select places and territories. So in the past with the form, and this was a while ago, you only had the option to restrict visibility of a form by a place tag or by a user within the system, so a rep. Now, with all of the introductions of matrix, and if you are aware, the rule builder, Repsly has expanded on this even further to give you the flexibility and the precision to make sure that your forms are only visible where they are meant to be. So now we have included the option to restrict a form based on place name. So instead of having to go and create a specific tag for each and every store so that you can use the place tag for restriction, you can actually select the place name as well. So you can see when you click on the place names, there is a search bar. So you don't have to scroll through a lengthy list to find exactly what you are looking for. You can type in a keyword in the place's name and it will isolate those options there for you. The place tag is, of course, kept because it is a very useful function. So if you want to restrict based on place tag, you can do so. And now for territory. So that was also a little bit of a restriction. If you wanted to make sure a form is only visible based on region, again, you would have to create a specific tag, assign that regional tag to the relevant stores, and then that's how you would incorporate a regional restriction to the forms. Now it's made a lot easier for you. You can just select the territory that the form is supposed to be relevant to. So again, with the inclusion of multiple options, it just also gives you less admin, and you can really streamline your place tagging as well, not having to have a million tags for one store. It is now a lot more streamlined for you. So the slide says it perfectly. It does reduce clutter and ensure accurate execution for field teams by showing only relevant forms. It improves data administration with reduction of place tags. And then it increases granularity of place and form management. So this is a real exciting function. This is something that we use on a regular basis. Okay, then linked to that is now visibility settings for forms and rules in one place. So because the rule manager as well as the visibility restrictions are essentially doing the same thing, they are telling the system we want these forms only visible at these certain places under these certain circumstances. What Repsy has decided to do is incorporate all of these restrictions into one area, essentially. So when you open a form and you go into the rules section, what you will have is now all of the rules that you can incorporate. So limiting a form visibility based on date, or limiting based on project visits, if that's something that you make use of, or you only want a form to be visible during a scheduled visit. That's one portion of your visibility restriction. And then along with that, you will also be able to use the previous logic where you limit it by place tags, by place names, or by territory. Okay, so with the inclusion of this functionality, rest assured, we're not going to wipe out any of your restrictions you had already had in place. Existing visibility settings that you had on your system will automatically be migrated to this view. So anything that you had already managed is intact still. Okay, when you go into the rule section. Okay, so that's also exciting. This is brand new, something that is very, it's very helpful when it comes to understanding what tasks within the field are taking longer, what requires the most attention or action from the rep's workflow perspective. You are now able to track tasks and the amount of time that it takes to submit. So this is mainly for forms and sales documents. But what it does is it tracks the time that the form is opened and the submission is started. So essentially any action that causes a form to be saved as a draft. Okay, as soon as it reaches that point, that time is saved into the system. And then it will give you the time that the task was submitted. So usually on the system, that submission time will be the time that the form was concluded and sent over to the system. Now with the track task start time, you have the ability to do the mathematics and track how long that task actually took by taking the submission time and subtracting the task start time. So then just to note, it doesn't take into account, when a rep went to another section of the app and was, say, submitting an order or was doing something else, and it doesn't factor in when the Repsly app was closed. It is literally just when the form is opened and saved in draft, that time, and the time that the form was submitted. It gives you that overall timing. Okay, so then I did also just want to show you where you can view this. So if we go and pull a form export from the form report section, what you'll see is you'll have a brand new column called activity start. So this is the time that the form was opened and interacted with to the point that it could be saved as a draft. So that's that time there. And then this date and time is the time that the form was submitted. So we can see between the time here that it was submitted, 11:21, to the time that it was started, 11:18, that this form took roughly 3 minutes to complete. Okay, so that's just how that sort of logic works. So it's very easy for you then to go and do the calculations outside of the Repsly application. Okay, so just wanted to show you that just for absolute clarity. All right, but also a very great function. Okay, then we now have third-party access. So this was a function, but it had not been revamped for quite some time. So the Repsly team has focused on bringing this up to the modern age and making it more user-friendly. So third-party access has now been called viewers. So essentially what this is, it gives external partners secure real-time visibility into form and photo data without custom portals or manual exports. So if there's any one of you that have used the third-party portal before, Essentially what it does is it says, I have this person externally of Repsly. They want to have access to my photos, to my forms that is relevant to them, but I don't want to load them necessarily as a user on Repsly, meaning they can log in and see all of the tasks and actions that we're taking. So you load them as a viewer, they are given credentials, and then they go and only have access to what you have provided them access to. And then they're able to, depending on the settings that you have set, they can do exports of this particular data. And you can also tailor make the filters that they can apply so that you know that this is the data that they can draw into, and making sure that once again it is very specific and relevant to what they should be seeing. Okay, so how this has evolved, there are some changes. If anybody here is aware of the third-party portal, the first change that I would like to highlight is that this is now essentially introduced a new user type, quote unquote, in the users tab. So I do have our demo account open here. I just wanted to show you this so that there is 100% clarity. So this is our test environment. So if we go into the users tab, you will see that there is a new role called viewer. Okay, so if we open and we say we want to add a new user, under role, there will now be 3 options. There will be your admin, which will have access to the web portal, representative that will have access to the mobile portal, and viewer. So these are the third-party viewers that will have access to what you provide them. So if they're only a viewer, you will click on viewer. And now within the user's profile, you will be able to specify what forms should this person have access to. And by access, I mean go in and look at the submissions as a whole, look at any photos that were taken within the form, and being able to export them. So you can go and specify all of those forms that are relevant to them. And there are some additional permissions here. So if you want them to do an export, you can switch that on. And if you're a client that makes use of Insights Dashboard, you can also give them access to Insights Dashboard relating to those results linked to those forms. Okay, so this will be step 1, ensuring that they are loaded as a viewer. Okay, and then something else which is really great, which gives you as the admin a whole lot more granular power as to what they have access to. We have a new section under application settings. So you will see there's a new section that says viewers. Now here you can be a lot more granular as to what they can or can't see. So do you want them to have access to the comments that are submitted against forms? You can go ahead and switch that on or off. Form reports, if you want them to be able to see the summary tab. So the summary tab within your form reports gives you the graphs. So any answers that can be staticized, Repsly automatically creates them into bar graphs, pie charts, whatever makes the most sense. So this is what the summary tab is then referring to. Do you want them to have access to that? Do you want the viewers to be able to share form reports? You can easily switch that on or off. Photos. Do you want these viewers to have access to the photos that have been captured? Again, you can have access to that. And then filters. You can specify what filters should this person have access to, so that I know whatever filter they are drilling into, they're only seeing what I want them to see. So if there's certain, rep attributes, like if there's certain teams that you don't want them to really be seeing or having access to filter by, you can always switch that off, So you're given so much access and granularity into what can and can't be done. So I'm very excited about this platform. It's really great. Something I just want to note, it's not going to automatically be available on your system. If you were using third-party portal previously, then it should be available to you. But if not, this viewer function and the third-party portal will not be available. If this is something you are interested in, you can reach out to us via support@repsly.com and we can switch that on for you. Okay. The one thing we just need to let you know, this is available on all plans. There is a user limit, so a limit to how many viewers you can have depending on package. So if that is something that you are interested in, we do encourage you to reach out to us directly, and then we can share that additional information with you. Okay. Okay, so that was what has already been released. So as you can see, some very exciting developments that are already available to you. So again, if there are any questions on any of the features that we have shown you, please, we highly encourage you to reach out to us. We are happy to help you. We want to share our passion regarding the Repsly system with you. So if there's anything you're not sure about, or I'm not sure how to use this or incorporate this into my workflow, is this really helpful for me? We will more than happy carve out some time with you and take you through those workflows. Okay. Now, the treats. We're going to come into the coming soon option. So just a disclaimer, which I do have on the next slide, which I will read to you, but we don't have timelines into any of these items that I am going to show. Once they are released, we will make sure to release communication with you so you know when these things are available. Okay, but we cannot give you timelines yet. All right. But it is my duty to read out this disclaimer to you guys, so just please bear with me. This product roadmap is intended to outline our general product direction and is not a commitment to deliver any material, code, or functionality. Please use this roadmap for information purposes only. It should not be relied upon in making purchasing decisions. The development, release, and timing of any features or functionality described for Repsly's products remains at the sole discretion of Repsly. Okay. So, form photo tagging. I'm very excited about this one. I don't know if you can tell. Initially standard, okay, so let's step back. We have two photo workflows. So the one is the standard workflow where you open the photo icon, you take a photo. It could be of anything that your reps need to visually capture. And the standalone photo type you can tag. So then when you go into the photo gallery view, you as an admin can filter by tag. So then if you have tags for a certain promotion, if it's highlighting out of stock, if it is a competitor that you want to track, those are tags that you can make use of, and you can draw into those photos that are only relevant to that workflow. Now, what Repsly is going to be releasing is the ability to tag form photos. Because if anyone here uses the photo gallery function, you are aware that standalone photos and form photos are both incorporated into the photo gallery. So all of those photos, regardless of how they were captured, are shown within the one place. So when you use the photo tagging as a filter, you will only essentially be filtering the standalone photos, because at the moment, formed photos cannot be tagged. This will be changing. So then reps and managers can tag photos directly within multi-photo questions and forms, making it easier to organize, find, and report on photos across visits. So of course, it's going to streamline your workflows, improve your filtering options and your discoverability. It is a really exciting feature, and I can't wait for this to be released. It's going to be a game changer. It may seem, it's like a minor workflow, but trust me, it is going to be phenomenal, especially for reporting purposes, especially if you are a company that captures photos and you want to send those photos over to your principals so that they have visibility of what is going on out in the field. This is going to be chef's kiss. Beautiful. Okay. Now we're getting into the realm of AI. So Repsly is very cognizant of the focus on AI workflows, how it streamlines just general day-to-day workflows and how it makes life easier. So Repsly is not one to be left in the dark or left behind. So they are looking at AI assisted functionality. The first one that they're looking at, which is currently in beta, so it's under testing, is AI assisted territory optimization. Okay, so think of this scenario. You have a large, customer set, maybe a few thousand, and you as the admin have to manually understand and dictate what clients fall under what territory. So there is limitations to that, or instances of potential oversight or error, because you're doing this all manually. Maybe you missed some stores that were on the outskirts and haven't been incorporated into the correct territory. Maybe you see that a rep is working within a certain territory, but you've also assigned them stores outside of that territory, which is causing unnecessary back and forth travel. Just scenarios such as that, this AI-assisted territory optimization will be able to assist you with that. So AI-powered territory analysis and planning recommendations right within the Repsly app. So it reads what you have, and essentially it tells you where you can improve upon the workflow. Okay, so it will have chat-guided planning. So you can ask it questions. So the AI bot I am referring to is it. You can ask it questions to analyze the territory health, investigate issues, and explore options in the map and table views. It will also identify opportunities for you. So it will tell you, listen, this rep has a lot more stores assigned to them than everyone else. This needs to be looked at. These stores are not being covered within your assigned territories. Maybe you should go and add them somewhere. Maybe there is a territory that's not really necessary. Maybe it's right next to a major territory that, say, has 50 stores assigned to it, and this adjacent territory has 3. That's not really efficient. So it will tell you, listen, this territory is not being used efficiently. I may suggest merging them as an example. Any overlaps, outliers, or data hygiene issues. Okay, and then it is configurable, so you can adjust the business priorities and constraints to reflect your personal operating model for your company. And then you can see suggested splits, mergers, rebalances, and assignment changes. Okay, so this is where Repsly is coming into the forefront and essentially revolutionizing the way that it's working. So we don't have timelines as to this yet, and I must highlight to you that this function will be an add-on. So it will come at an additional cost. It's not automatically built into your package. And there will, again, be restrictions to the number of people that are incorporated. So there will be brackets, and for those number of users, you will pay a certain amount. Okay, so this isn't released yet, and what we will do, I'm fairly certain, once we have 100% understanding as to how this will be working and the expectations, we will release some training material for you guys so that you can get the real inside scoop into how this is going to be working. So we will make sure to share that with you. And then, of course, if this is something that you're interested in, you will have to reach out to our operations department. So that will be myself, Cherise, or Valerie. And then we can proceed with those discussions with you as to how we can incorporate this into your system. Okay. And then another AI-related function that the Repsly team are planning on doing is AI Schedule Import Assistant. So currently it is going to be a prototype. So it will want to provide you a faster way to create and fix schedule import files powered by AI. So it can automatically fix common issues such as task name mismatch. I, for one, am guilty of that when I am importing schedules, and I don't copy and paste the exact form name into the task description name. The whole import fails, and I realize, oh, it was because I didn't put it exactly how it shows in the Repsly system. So that's a very good example as to what it can assist you with. It can generate import-ready files from simple natural language inputs, and it will ensure files are structured and validated before upload, reducing failed imports and rework. So I do understand that the schedule importing functionality right now, it is a great function, but it is manual. So especially if you are overseeing many reps with a lot of store visits that they have to do, it is some time that you'll have to carve out to make sure that this is done properly. So we are very cognizant also of the admin's capacity for workload as well as time. So we are hoping that this assistant will be able to assist you, at least with making the schedule workflow a bit easier to manage. Okay, so again, we're not sure about plans or about additional costings or anything along those lines. This is scheduled. That is all that we know currently, but just know that Repsly is definitely looking into this to making the schedule workflow easier. So as soon as we have more information on this, we will 100%, as per usual, let you know. Okay. Right, so that is the end of the bulk of the presentation. So now we're going to go into the resources and Q&A. So question and answers. I'm just going to bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to look at the Q&A section and just have a look at what we have here. Okay, so yes, if anybody is not 100% sure as to whether the recording is going to be available, if someone had to jump out early, or if anybody could not attend, don't worry, this is being recorded and it will be shared with you once the session concludes, and the slides will be shared with you as well. Okay. All right, so let's get to the Q&A. So first question is, when will matrix photos be available to view on the Repsly web and apps? Okay, this is a question that is very specific. We do have a development request. So essentially, just to give everybody a little bit of insight, at the moment, matrix form photos, they are not currently available within the gallery view. So this is something that we picked up a while ago, and we are definitely, we have submitted a development request for this, and we are following up on that. So this is something that we don't have feedback on as yet, but it is something that is on the forefront of our matrix development list. So we are definitely keeping eyes on that. Fortunately, we do not have feedback yet, but we will be able to look up the status for you, and then if there's any new developments worth sharing, then we will be sure to let you know. Okay. How does one add products to these lists? I'm assuming we're talking about the product lists. So this particular question I know is relating to the APL workflows. So for this person, just know that it works the exact same way. You will have to import those products and assign them against the particular list that you want to assign to the matrix. That has been streamlined. Instead of two separate imports, one for assigning the product list to the store and then a separate one assigning the products to the lists, it has been incorporated into one flow. So you will see if you go into the settings cog in the web app and you go into the export and import wizard, you'll see in import there is one product list specific import available to you. The sample template is there. You're more than welcome to download that. And you will see that you can assign the places and the products in that singular import. Okay. So I am phrasing that answer, as if you were already making use of the APL functionality. But just for everyone else, I'll just clarify that a little bit for you. In order to assign a product list to a matrix form question, it is an import that you have to action on the web app side. So if you go into export and import, under import, you will see, I think it says a product list import or something along those lines. You will click on that. There is a sample template that you can download, exactly the same as we give you a scheduling import sample, things along those lines. It does give you feedback as to what rows or columns require what information. So it does give you a step-by-step guide. And then all of the columns are very clearly labeled, so you know exactly what goes under each section. If you go and do a little bit of playing around and you notice that there's some things you're not 100% sure of, you can always go and reach out to us and we can answer those questions for you. Just to note, there is also a knowledge base article available on the system regarding product lists. So if maybe that's something to also showcase for you very briefly. If you are in the Repsly system, if you click on the help speech bubble to the bottom left and you go into help center, you will see you have mobile tips and tricks. So any articles that have been published relating to the use of the mobile app, you'll find there. And under web tips and tricks, these are all of the articles that have been published concerning the use of the web app. So if we have a look, if we scroll down, it could be under matrix forms. There we go. Product lists in matrix form questions. So everything that you need to know about this functionality and how to action it, it will be incorporated into this article. Okay. But if there's anything in here that's not 100% clear, please, again, reach out to us. We don't mind. We love to help you guys. We want to help you get the most out of Repsly's core functions, as well as these new features that we are introducing regularly. So any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay. Then last question, third-party viewers, does it use Repsly licenses? So not in the conventional sense, no. So for example, if your package has, 20 users, the viewers are not going to count towards that count. Viewers have a separate count. So it will be based on the package that you currently have. You will be assigned a max number of viewers that your account can make use of. So that's unfortunately the viewer license limitations we don't have yet. That is something that if you just wanted to look at, you'll have to reach out to us and refer you to the engineering team for that additional context. Okay, but no, it won't count to your admin or representative user count. Okay. Those were great questions. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. Any other questions? Maybe I'll give you just a few moments just to post any additional questions you may have. But don't be shy. I don't see any typing, so I can only assume that that means I did my job well and I have explained everything rather clearly, and so people don't have questions. I'm going to assume that that's what that means. Okay, awesomeness. Okay, so then just into our final section, which is our resources section. So as I've shown you now, the knowledge base is built into the Repsly system. So if there's any question that you have, particularly about a new function, maybe you just want to read up on it a little bit more, see as some additional context or how to action that particular, option, I do recommend your first stop be the knowledge base. So go into the little help icon, go into Help Center, and go into the web tips and tricks. You'll find everything that you need there. If for some reason you're not coming right there, or there's a very specific question that you'd like to ask or anything technical, you can send a support ticket over to us to support@repsly.com. Our support administrator, Valerie, she is fantastic. Her response time is impeccable, and she answers you with the utmost care and respect. And she goes over every possible, point of your question to make sure that you are 100% supported. Okay, so please, we take our customer success and support very seriously. So no, you will be taken care of if you send us an email. We will also receive emails if you send them to us directly, but we do recommend that you send it over to the support portal. So it's support@repsly.com. Okay. Then development requests. So I did touch on this with the first question that I answered. So what a development request is essentially if there's a function that's not available, or perhaps you have a suggestion as to how a function can be improved upon potentially, what you can do is you can send that request over to us and we create that request in our development request portal on your behalf. Okay, so then we can load any development request in our system. So if there's anything that you want to share with us, you are more than welcome to, and we will load that request for you. What we do need from you to make sure that the Repsly product development team has all of the context that they need is you need to give us a clear and concise use case as to why this development you are requesting is required, what impact it has, and essentially kind of letting us know what pain point will this be addressing if we incorporate this into the system. Okay, so a clear use case and how it will benefit you will take it that much further. Okay. Requests are then assessed by our product development team with a global view, because as you are aware, Repsly is a global product, so it does have to take into consideration the effect that any development will have positively or negatively from a global view on a global scale. Okay, so just know that there are quite a few considerations that the product development team has to look at. Okay, so are there similar requests already in the system, which means that there is demand for it, which means it's more likely that it will be looked at? Does this request work for many businesses or users? If it's scalable, stands to reason that they will definitely consider it. And then the team then makes a decision to develop it or not. All requests remain in the system and are regularly assessed. Okay, so it's not just looked at once and then discarded. The team does look at this on a regular basis to understand what can and can't be done. Okay, requests which are clearly not in our area of focus will be closed off, and we will let you know if something will not be developed. Okay. And we cannot guarantee any requests will be developed. We also cannot ever confirm timeframes. And the reason for that is we are not part of the product development team. As we've just seen in our previous points, there is a lot of external factors that they have to consider before saying yay or nay. And also their capacity and workload plays a vital role in when something is developed and how. So unfortunately, all feedback on that is not based on our feedback. We have to go and check this with the product development team. So any development request is at their sole discretion. Okay, and timing also is at their sole discretion. Okay, and then just a reminder, our next session will be in around the August month. So we will make sure to send those invites to you with ample time so that you can accept the invites. And then please feel free to reach out with any additional questions, relating to the functionality, to when the next webinar is, or if you have future suggestions regarding this webinar platform, if there's anything that you want to see, any recommendations that you have, we are open to that. We want to hear from you. Okay, so please let us know. And that's the end of the webinar. Thank you so much for your time. Just want to give you another moment. If there's any additional questions, to post them now while we are here and we are helping each other out as part of the Repsly Dream Team. Please let us know if there's anything that you need. But your presence here is truly appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Reach out to us at support if you have any additional questions or need clarification. And yes, we very much look forward to these developments that Repsly is bringing to the forefront. Repsly is a game changer, and they want to keep that, designation. So that's why they're focusing on these really great features that they know is going to be of use to you and to your field team. So the customer is definitely Repsly's focus, and we do genuinely hope that you feel that. Okay, so thank you guys so much. If that is all, we will be sharing the recording and the slides out with you guys. But I hope you guys have a beautiful day and a beautiful rest of your week. And thank you so much.